Okay. Good morning, world. This is from the intergalactical headquarters of Larson Training Centers, live on, well, actually, California is the intergalactical headquarters. This is just the Nevada headquarters of Larson Training Centers. This week we are doing Google Calendar. Let's see, housekeeping items. Magazines are supposed to arrive today. So that means we need to be, hopefully they'll arrive in time so that by tomorrow morning we can just print labels and have them picked up on Friday and do our rubber banding thing and take those tomorrow too. How long does it take to do the 1,000 labels?
I'd say 2 hours, not even that, hour and a half.
Okay, and then a couple hours to do the boxing of the 150 or so other magazines, right?
Yeah.
And then we also have to have the stuff for distribution for John Bissick.
Yeah.
Done. Okay, good. So there's that, and let's see, any other housekeeping items? Anything anybody wants to talk about? Terry, Pat, please. It's okay. I know old habits are hard to come by. Jesus likes wearing his. It's fine. It's okay. It's perfectly okay. Okay, calendar. Why should we care about having a calendar? Mike, Grant.
Because you can keep track of your events from day to day, week to week,
Okay,
month to month.
okay. Deanna, you want to add to that?
Time management.
Okay, time management. Okay,
That was my next one.
okay. Marty, you look like you have something.
Share tasks with others.
Okay, you can collaborate with others. So one way to be more efficient is if other people can see your calendar too. And I can assure you, when you get busy, you know, if you're a manager or something like that, you want to fill up your day with as much stuff as possible. And what you don't want to do is sit at your desk saying, what do I do next? You want to know what you're going to do the whole day before the day starts and tomorrow, etc. And if you think about it, what do dentists and doctors do? How do they set up appointment? And where are those appointments kept?
And a filing cabinet.
On a calendar. Yeah, they might put the calendar when it's done in a filing cabinet, but now they're moving everything to the cloud, especially if you're a doctor that has multiple offices. Now, what about a restaurant that people want to make reservations for dinner? Where do those go?
Calendar.
Those go on a calendar too. And there are companies, cloud-based companies, that they offer a reservation service to restaurants. That's what they do. There is has anybody heard of Harry's Razors?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it? You guys have not heard of Harry's? This is the greatest razor in the world. Now, Sherry says that she thinks that the $5 Shave Club or something is better. But Harry's Razors is a business that started out where a guy said, I'm going to make buying razors inexpensive. So what does it cost for what's the Gillette that has the 4 blades?
Turbo.
Turbo?
I need some.
How much do those cost?
$20. No, $40.
Yeah, for how many?
4 blades.
There's like $4 each, right?
Yeah.
I think they are about $4 each. So this business idea was, what are the challenges to shaving? Dull razor, right? Expensive. And you have to remember and go to the store, and oftentimes in the store they're locked up now because they're so expensive, people steal them. So they have an app, a whole business is started based upon an app that got the best razor blades, German design razor blades. That's pretty good, right? Would you think German designed razors blades would be good? A great handle. And you sign up and you tell them how many blades you want every 6 months, every 3 months, whatever. And guess what happens every 6 or 3 months?
You receive those.
You get them, and they're cheaper than you can get in the store, and they're better. Because they don't spend money advertising, except on the internet, which is a lot cheaper than TV. They don't have distributors for it. So, you know, if Walmart sells it for $4, they don't pay $4, right? What do you think Walmart pays?
Maybe half.
Probably half. And probably $1 is spent on TV advertising by Gillette. So there's this whole business that's created because of the cloud that you can have the best product that wouldn't have been available before, because if you had the best razor and then you had to have an extra dollar for advertising and the store wanted to make 50% on it, it would be priced at, say, $7 or $8 compared to Gillette. And who would spend $7 or $8 at Walmart for a razor? Blades, just the blades. Nobody, right? So they changed the model and they were able to do it because of the cloud. But it works because when I put in my, here's how often I want blades, that goes onto a what? A calendar. They have this huge calendar of, okay, how many orders do we have to ship in January, in February, and March? Who gets shipped out today, tomorrow, next week? If I didn't get my razors, I noticed I got charged. I can call them up. They go and look, and they can track what days this was all supposed to happen, right? You should have gotten your razors. Here's what happened. They can track it. So that's all possible because of the cloud. But it really is a calendar application, because the business wouldn't work if they had to depend upon me every 6 months having to go order new blades, because I'd order them when I ran out, right? Because every other day I'd say, okay, I have one blade left. One blade left, I got to remember to order blades. One blade left, and I'd be, okay, down to my last blade, I got to remember to order blades. Got to remember to order blades. Okay, well, I forgot to order blades. Now my razor's too dull, damn it, I'm going to go to Walmart and get other blades. It all works because they made it easy for me to have the best shave there is. And it's cheaper. And it's better. The same thing is happening with Uber. Uber is a calendaring thing, but it's not tomorrow. Mostly it's in the next 5 minutes, right? It's a whole calendaring thing. Scheduling. So this is an example of Google Voice. Oops. This is Ed. Yeah, hi Anthony, how are you? Well, I'm teaching a class right now on air live in California. So I left a message. I'm going to be in at 11:30. Are you going to be there? Perfect. Okay. Well, what time are your meetings? Because I can work around that. Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Good. I'll see you then. Thanks. Bye. And that's very important. Not like the president calling. I always have to check in case it's the president they have to answer.
All right. No point.
Morning, Ed.
Morning, Dennis. How are you?
All right. How are you today?
Good. Okay, so we're jumping right in. So Uber is another example of a calendar, but it's not for tomorrow. It's primarily for the next 5 minutes. But it's a calendaring application. It's keeping track of things that happen in time. And it's not just the future, it's also the past. So what we want to do every morning before the 8 o'clock class is for everybody to come here and focus on your calendar. Build the habit in your brain of coming in every day, and you just start with the calendar. You don't even have to think about it. What should I do now? Don't think about it. Just immediately go to your calendar. Don't go to Facebook. Don't go to Google+. Don't do that. Just go right to your calendar and start focusing on that. And what you want to do is build your calendar out to be as full as possible. And one exercise we'll do probably tomorrow is to go to one date, 1 year from your graduation. And write yourself a letter, like a vivid vision, where you want to be. And then guess what happens next year on that date? It'll be on your calendar. You don't even have to remember it. It'll be there. Or let's say you have a kid and that they're going to have their birthday, and you just feel something like you took them to get ice cream or something. The thing to do would be you create a document, you Google Docs, right? Dear honey, we went to have ice cream tonight. It was so fun, blah, blah, blah. And then you go to her birthday on the calendar. You attach that document on the calendar. So on her birthday a year from now, you have this letter. And then you can always just go back and keep updating that letter as you go throughout the whole year. And that, I promise you, would be the best birthday present they would ever get. Or your mother.
You'd be surprised that you remembered.
It has all these dates on it. Hey, I just thought about you today, blah, blah, blah. Say whatever you say. Then you have another day, and you give somebody a gift that's a letter that you wrote over a whole year period. What's better than that? Marty? Okay, good. Good answer. Okay, so calendar. Let's see, everybody pull up your calendars, please. Go to the calendar. We're going to go to settings. I want to make sure everybody's settings are correct.
Okay, so
How do we get to the calendar? Deanna.
Mine's on my bookmark.
Okay, not the best place for it. That's kind of a waste of real estate, but okay. What's another way? No, well, that is a way to do it. That's the Larita way. Another not good way. Jesus, how do you get to calendar? 9 square grid. This is the best way. Okay, well, this over here, so when you say apps, I think of that.
Yeah.
Because it says apps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aren't the apps and the 9 square grid the same?
No.
No?
No, they're very different.
How did?
They're very different. I'll show you. Okay. Apps is configurable to whatever apps you have saved. Look at all these apps I have. 1 page. I have 2 pages in here of apps. Now, as somebody said, was that you, Mike? Somebody says, when you click on apps, it doesn't open a new tab. You lose the tab that you were on. So now you've got to relaunch that tab. So there's 2 things. One is it takes away the tab you had. The second thing, so let's say I go to this ancient history. I want to see something in ancient history. Now, I want to go open another, I do it the Deanna Larita way, I go to the apps button. Watch what happens to ancient history. It goes away. It's gone. So that is a way, and in Google, there's always more than one way to do things. There's always more than one way. And sometimes this way is a better way. Like if I was done with ancient history, I didn't need that tab anymore, then the best thing to do would be to go to the apps button, because I'm not taking up computer speed and time processing. So apps is different because it takes away a tab. It's not the best because it takes away a tab, but it's also different because you get to program what the apps are. On the 9 square grid, so if I go to the 9 square grid, I don't get to program these, I just get to arrange them. I can put them in whatever order I want. So if I do Google Plus first, if that's the most important one to me, I select it and just drag it to wherever I want it to be. I can't change these though. I can't add to them. On apps, I can add to them. So it's part of customizing my experience. So the best way to get to the calendar or any app is to click on the 9-square grid. So I click on that, it opens a new tab. I'm now at the 9-square grid. Now let's go to settings. How do we do that? Go to the gear. Go to the gear, which is right over here, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now from settings, let's go and click on labs. Let's click on labs. So everybody see that? Okay, how many people remember doing this in Gmail? 2 people? 2 people remember doing it in Gmail? Okay. Sort of. That was a raised hand stretch. Again, once you learn a Google app, it's not hard to learn the other ones. And one of the things you want to do to customize it is you want to make sure you always go into labs if it has it. Okay, so the first app, hide morning and night. Enable that.
So follow along. So enable hide morning and night. Enable.
Yeah. Gentle notifications. Enable.
Enable. Gentle. Okay.
Automatically declining events. Enable.
Enable automatically declining events.
Okay. Who's my one-on-one with? Enable that.
Okay. Enable.
Okay, so sometimes in the future when you get busy, you see that you've got a meeting scheduled,
Okay.
you're going to not remember who's that's with.
You okay?
You're not going to want to take a lot of time
No?
to figure out. So enabling this, who's my one-on-one with, it's just a little thing that makes it easy to find out who it is. Year view, enable that. Okay, enable year view. Background image. This is not something that should be enabled. For some reason, people here like to enable it because it makes them feel good. But if you're at work and you're getting paid to do what? What are you getting paid to do at work? To do what?
Make money.
Make them money or save them money. Okay? And so if your boss comes up and he sees your picture of a Ferrari as your background, what's he going to think that you like to think about? Ferraris, fast cars, not work. Okay? So it's just not a good thing to do. Except unless your background is something having to do with the company.
Like Zappos.
Like Zappos,
Okay. Yeah. Enable.
whoever you work with. Now your boss walks up behind you,
Okay. Now,
or he just wants to see what's Kenya doing today, right now.
enable or disable.
You have your calendar up and he sees the company logo behind the calendar. He says, wow, I didn't even know you could do that. That's, I promise you, that's what he'll say. I didn't even know you could do that. Kenya knows something I don't know. He's pretty smart. Because I think I'm smart. But he knows something I don't know. I wonder what else he knows.
Enable.
But if you have a picture of a Ferrari or Playboy,
Yeah.
Maxim, not good. Not good. So I highly recommend you disable this.
Okay.
Free or busy, enable.
Yeah. All right. For the background.
Jump to date, enable. This is a very important thing. It makes it easy for you to get to any particular date. You just have to type in the date. And it'll go there. So, 2022. Your birthday, 2022.
Want to be on next meeting?
Next meeting. See what's coming up next. Enable that.
Or jump there, enable. So enable next meeting.
World clock. This is a great one for work if you work at a company that does business international. Why? Why would you say, Kenya?
Say the changes at the time.
Why is it great for you to have that on your calendar? Okay, right. Yeah, that's one thing. President of our school was in China for Thanksgiving. So I was sending texts back and forth to him, and I wanted to know what time it was in China. And that's an easy way to do it. Another easy way is just to say, okay, Google, what time is it in Beijing? right now. It'll tell you. But if it's on your calendar, it makes it easy too. Like a world clock. But it also it's good if your business, if you work at a company that does business internationally and your boss walks up behind you and he sees you have a world calendar, a clock, what's your boss going to think? He's going to say the same thing. Wow, I didn't know you could do that. This guy must be, this guy's smart. He knows something I don't know. Because I know a lot, and he knows something I don't know. I wonder what else he knows. And then you save, okay? So all of those should be enabled with a world clock. Yeah. Okay. Not that we need it, but yeah.
Just in case.
So then, oh, and now let's do one last thing. So let's go back to the settings and have the display density set as compact. Yeah, compact. Okay, so now here's my calendar. I've got the monthly calendar over here. I have my other calendars over here on the left. On the right, I have jump to date. And I have next meeting, tell me when it is. Okay, and then my free or busy.
You can put the world clock on.
I haven't set it. Okay. I enabled it, but I don't have it set. Okay, now let's go back to settings. And let's go to settings. So here's what we've got in settings. Our general tabs. What? Where's it? On the gear, over on the right. Okay? It should say calendar settings right up from the left. Okay, so English, US, the time. We went through this before, the date format. Show weekends in week and month view. On this is default, so you'd say yes. Default view is by week. How many days? 5. Okay, so that's it. There's nothing really big there. So we went through this. The next one is your calendars. So this will show you all the calendars you have. You're not going to have a lot of calendars, but look at all the calendars I have. These are all separate calendars.
Okay.
Well, every time we do this class, I create a new calendar. So we've been doing it, and people share their calendars with me. And I can clean it up. It says show in list. I can just uncheck it if I don't want it to show up anymore. And if it's shared with me, I can unsubscribe so I won't see it. Somebody else's calendar. Okay, so this isn't anything that's going to have a lot of value for you right now. But it's just to know, don't worry about adding more and more and more calendars. And don't think you need to delete the calendars in the future. Because what you want to do is you want to gather in more and more and more data. And never get rid of anything. Not like the old days. The old days, it was when you get a lot of papers, right? In the old days for businesses, they'd get a lot of papers. And every some number of years, they would do what's in this room. Who remembers when we moved in here, all the boxes that were in that room?
Yeah.
Remember that? That room was full of boxes, right? What happened to them?
Got rid of them.
That room where we do our TED Talks, when we first moved in here in September, was full of boxes of records. We could barely get around it. Remember that? Then they had people come in and they go through the box, go through every file and say, do we need to keep this or can we throw it away? They threw away almost all of them, but then the ones they couldn't throw away, they have in this room now. Okay, and there's a third of as many boxes. But when you throw the stuff away, it's gone forever. With the cloud, you never have to throw anything away, so we have to start thinking differently about information. So in the future, if you have calendars you don't need, you just
Did that work?
uncheck it. You take it off the list. So it doesn't show up.
No.
I want it. Chicago calendar, Bay Area. You know, so that's how easy it is to get rid of those. Mobile setup. Okay, so everybody here who has a smartphone, you should set this up on your smartphone. Okay, there's that. My code.
So I didn't took that T6 structure. That's what it is. That's where I went in my. I just did it, and it was there because I saw it on my computer. So I knew you had to send it to LTC. Did not send it to LTC. No, I just wanted this to follow.
Okay, so then I can just finish setting up my phone. On my phone. Save. Now let's go back into settings one more time. And this time go to where it says offline. Okay, click on that and there'll be something that pops up that says enable Google Calendar offline. And we click enable. Okay, good.
I mean, don't have to copy her. I missed that. Where?
I just forgot you already did this. Okay.
Okay. Excuse
Now,
me.
we want it offline. Yeah.
Hey, can you repeat that last one there? We didn't get that.
The last one is to go to settings
Okay.
and click on offline. So settings,
Settings offline.
click offline. That now enables you to work on your calendar when you're offline.
Okay.
When?
Offline. Thank you.
Well, no, because you could be online when you're not here. Remember, you have access to this account wherever you go. Huh? Well, how are you going to work on your calendar when you're asleep?
No, you said offline.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Huh?
You said, how did you work offline?
Offline means when you don't have internet access.
So sound sleep.
Well, but if you're asleep, you're not going to be working on your calendar, right?
So it won't work offline, right?
No. Okay, so offline means you can work on your calendar when your computer's offline.
Okay.
Okay, so when would you want to do that? Airplane, right? You're on an airplane. You want to work on your calendar? Church. You're driving down the street. That's what I like to do. Not really. Driving down the street. You're riding in somebody's car.
Right.
You're at the dinner table, whatever. You're someplace that it doesn't have internet. You're hiking at Red Rock.
Right.
And
Right.
you want to put something on your calendar. As soon as you get back online, what's going to happen? It's going to sync.
Yeah.
It's going to sync up with what you have. Now, when we start teaching at Southern Desert, guess what? They're going to be offline, but they're going to learn how to use the calendar there because their machines are going to be set up for offline. So they'll be able to learn how to do this stuff in calendar because it's offline. Gmail has an offline version too, which we downloaded last week. Okay, when can you use Gmail offline? When you're offline, the same time you can use your calendar. Okay. So now we have our calendars set up for professional use, not just for amateur use. Calendars are set up. And now let's go into Gmail. So how do we get to Gmail? Nine Square Grid. Or we can do what people want, right? We go to the 9 Square Grid.
All right. So you close that. Okay.
Now, if somebody sends you an email today and says, hey, how about lunch tomorrow? What do you do, Marty?
Well, that's Patricia over right here.
How? Somebody sends you an email, says, hey, how about lunch tomorrow? Well, that's one way to do it, but that's not the best way.
Oh, yeah, Google it.
Gmail. Okay. So what we want to do from this point forward is get in the habit of not replying, okay, yeah, let's meet tomorrow. Because if I say, sure, let's meet tomorrow at 12 at Carmine's, what happens? What happens when I reply and say, let's meet tomorrow at Carmine's at 11? What happens? If I reply, okay, what happens? Well, if they have yes, we're going, but otherwise they're going to get what, Mike? They're going to get an email. Yeah. And they're going to get an email back that says, sure, how about tomorrow at 11? Okay? Now, what did not happen in that transaction? So the person sends me an email. I reply, okay. Okay, now what has to happen? In order for me to show up tomorrow for lunch.
You better reply, yeah, I had lunch.
Well, he says, let's have lunch at Carmine's at 1 o'clock. Okay, that's the email. I say back, okay.
You'll be at Carmen's.
If what? Well, let's say he read and I read. Okay. I'll be at Carmine's tomorrow if I remember that I sent this email. Was it on my calendar? No. Where was it? Just in my Gmail, sending emails back and forth. So that's what we need to stop doing. Because now I have to clutter my brain with remembering and reminding myself throughout the day, okay, remember, lunch tomorrow at 1. Lunch tomorrow at 1. I've got to go to lunch tomorrow at 1 when I'm getting dressed in the morning. Okay, I've got lunch tomorrow at 1. I have to remember it, because if I don't remember, what's going to happen?
You might forget.
Yeah, I'll forget. I won't be there. Because I forget, my brain is designed to do what?
Forget things.
Forget 70% of what I do, unless I go over it, review it. So we don't want to do that anymore.
Put everything on calendar. All you got to do is look on your calendar.
And yeah, and Google makes it easy to do that. So find an email from somebody, could be from me, find an email, open it, and just imagine that email said, hey, let's have lunch tomorrow at 1. What would we normally do? We would click reply, right?
Yeah.
We go to this little arrow over here and click reply. Okay, we don't want to do that anymore. So this is something you might want to write down in your calendar. Never reply on email to a date. Okay. Instead, what do? Does anybody in California know what I do instead of hit reply?
instead of hitting reply.
How can you respond instead of looking for?
How?
It's,
Yeah.
instead of hitting reply.
You got the right idea, but the wrong way. Get there.
And why don't you accept the date and you want it to go to your calendar versus just your email?
Versus just email.
So here's what we do.
Listen,
Go up to this button that says more,
okay.
Oh, more,
more,
more.
and then what do you think I do?
Let's see. Let me get in there. Hold on.
Huh?
Let's see.
No.
What is it?
No. What's your next guess? Create event. Create event. So click on create event. Boom. What is it going to do? It's going to take me to the calendar.
Hmm.
And now I start at the top because that's the best practices. That's the habit we want to get into. And so I would change this to say, meet for lunch. And then I check the date, whatever date it's supposed to be. I change the time, 1 o'clock, and automatically guesses and says, okay, 2 o'clock. Okay, where? I put the address in. Okay, so I put in Nevada Partners. Next is what calendar do I want this added to? So the default would be my calendar. But if it's a work-related thing, and I want my coworkers to know, what calendar would I put it on? The work calendar. Okay, so other people know. They're not invited to lunch, but they're now being told, here's where I'm going to be. I'm not going to be available tomorrow at this time, so don't ask to do something with me. I'm going to be at a meeting. And then what gets automatically pasted in is the body of that email. So where the guy says, hey, let's have lunch tomorrow at 1, that's automatically pasted in here. I can take it out if I want. I can change what I usually do. Unless I want it as evidence that I'm replying to his thing. If I scroll down, it says add attachment. So what can I do there? Add more. Yeah, like what? Like what? What can I add? Picture, what else? Document, what else? Could I add a video? Yeah. Could I add a song? Yeah, I can add anything. So if it's a business meeting, what might I want to add? Like the agenda or something we're going to talk about in business. Okay? We're not going to screw around with colors right now. I can give myself a notification, okay, to remind me like at 11:30 or 12:30, hey, you've got lunch tomorrow at 1 or today at 1. So now I need to drive there. Then I can put it down here, show me is available, busy, decline invitations, etc. That would be more for my coworkers. I go back up. Nope, I don't hit save yet. I go back up. Now it says add guests. Who's automatically added as a guest to this event? Right? The person who said, how about having lunch? They're already added, so what's going to happen? They're going to get an email. Okay? But I can invite more people just by typing in their email address here, right? Let them modify the event. Going, etc. I can pull that. Then when I'm done, I go down or I go to the top and I click save. Okay, now I get a notification that says attendees from outside your organization following people outside the organization. Are you sure you'd like to invite them? Invite. Now it says send the invitation. If I hit yes, what's going to happen?
It's gonna go
They're gonna get
To where?
to the person that invited you.
How? By what means? By carrier pigeon, telephone call,
Email.
email. They're going to get the email. Instead of getting a reply that says okay, they're going to get an email back that says, this guy, this person, just invited you to this lunch. So now they will reply back saying yes. So you get an email back that says, okay, they said they're going to be there. So he had the idea, how about lunch tomorrow? You create an event on the calendar, which is a reply to say, okay, let's get this on our calendars. Yes. Okay. Created the event, sends him an email. He sees, oh, okay, well, Ed said yes. He created this formal event. Oh, that guy's pretty smart because it's now on the calendar. He said yes. Ed said yes, so now I say yes, so he knows that I'm going to. He knows that I know exactly where it is, what time, etc. I got the file. He knows I got the file, right, that I attached down here. He knows that I got that file, so we're set to go. If he has a Gmail account, when he says okay, guess where it goes for him? On his calendar. Isn't that cool? Now again, if I had just hit reply, what happens?
If you don't have a calendar with
He just gets his email.
Create the event, yeah.
But if I didn't do the hit more, click more than create event, where would it go? It would just be a reply in Gmail saying okay. Wouldn't be on my calendar, wouldn't be on his calendar. My coworkers wouldn't know. My boss wouldn't know.
the people who invited you on to.
Yeah. When I click that yes, that's saying, do you want to send an email to these people? And I said no, because I'm not really inviting you to lunch. That was just for administration. So that's a very powerful thing with calendar. So, but what we have to do is we have to tell our brains it's very important never to hit reply if somebody's saying, do you want to do something in the future? Don't hit reply and hit what? More. Click the more button and go down to create event and then just fill it in. It's going to take you a little bit longer, but it's going to save you a lot of time because you're not going to have to remember. And the more you do this, the more productive you can be because you're not wasting time remembering things that are not important. That's what we need to do. If we're going to forget 70% of what we learned, when we have to review stuff, we only want to review stuff that we want to remember. So I don't want to have to remember that I have an event tomorrow. All I need to remember is I have to look at my calendar. And I have to make sure in my settings I had turned notifications on. Because if I have notifications on, do I really need to remember? No. I need to remember what to do when my phone notifies me, right? Which is to do what? No, if my phone sends out the sound saying notification, I need to do what? See what it says. That's all I need to remember. I don't need to remember I have something at 1 o'clock today. See, like right now, I have to keep reminding myself, okay, when this class is over, I have to drive to Carmine's. Because he called me up and I said, I'll see you at 11:30. Okay? I have to actively remember that. I have to tell myself that's something important to remember. Because if I forget, what's he going to think about me? Undependable, loser, idiot. And the next time I say something, what's he going to think? undependable, moron,
Yeah.
probably won't happen, etc. Now, the fallout of this is when you get in the habit of doing this, your expectation levels really rise. And then you learn things like here in Nevada, if somebody says to you, let's have lunch tomorrow at 1, or next Tuesday at 1, if you don't do this, you need to call them the day before and say, all right, we're still on for lunch. So you have to set your notification to the day before. Notify you, okay, tomorrow at 1 we have lunch, and you have to translate that in your brain to mean, oh, when I get a notification that says tomorrow I have lunch, that means I need to call the guy. Because here in Las Vegas, people are not that efficient and that productive. They forget. Or at the last minute, like in this case, it would be like at 11 o'clock, you would call and say, well, I don't have time to meet you at 11:30 today. Well, I had scheduled my whole day around this. It's not really fair to half an hour before the thing say, you know what, change your plan. So that's going to be a consequence. Once you get very efficient, productive, you're going to see that people who don't do this are not. They're going to perceive you as, wow, this guy is a god. And he says, I'll be at that corner 6 months from now at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. They're going to say, that guy will be there. That's one thing people say about me. Bevilacqua says, he'll meet you 6 months from now at a certain corner at a certain time. He'll be there. And that's a big compliment, right? Guy says he's going to be there. Don't even question whether he'll be there. He will be there. That's the kind of person you want to be. Your boss says, can you handle this? You don't want your boss to think the way they think now, which is I have to remember to remind him to do it even though he said he was going to do it. If you just do that one thing and be the person who, if they say, can you do this, will you do this? And you say yes, they said, okay, I take that to the bank. I just gave that person the hot potato. They've got it. If you have a job with the fence company and you have to be at a certain place at a certain time to get the job done, you want your boss wondering whether you're going to get it done. You want him to just say, Anderson's got that job. Next, what's the next job? Okay? The calendar is the thing that makes that possible. Because our brains are designed to forget. And you're not going to want to have little pieces of paper. Believe me, that doesn't work. Because you spend more time trying to figure out, well, what's that piece of paper I wrote on? That you just can't do it. And then you kind of look like a clown if you pull out of your pockets like 52 pieces of paper and try to figure out which one it is. So these are just simple things that the cloud is enables to happen. This wasn't possible before. When I was in my, maybe even my 30s, but certainly in my 20s, they didn't have this. There were no calendars like this. Nowhere in the world. It did not exist. So how did people do it? What did every business guy have with him in his pocket? Okay. A calendar, a little weekly, right? Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. Everybody would carry a little to-do calendar thing. And these companies that printed these things made a lot of money. And some were really nice, leather bound, your initials stamped on them in gold, because that's what you had to do. And you have a lunch, you stay at lunch, and somebody says, hey, let's meet next Tuesday at 12. Everybody, boom, they pull out on the table their little book and they flip to that. Everybody writes it in together. Doesn't exist anymore. Now, people take out their cell phones and they do the date and time, and they got it, okay, everybody got it, great. Or I'll send it to you, you just reply, got it, done. In the future, and where it's very close, on here with Google, is you say, okay, Google, set appointment next Tuesday with Dave. 1 o'clock. Yes. And that's how easy it is now. Okay. And then we'll be able to say, teacher, attach such and such file. Send Dave the file. And that's where it's going. This is the thing we need to master right now, is understanding this is all possible through the cloud. And again, the good news is nobody out there, no businesses do this. This is the thing that helps get you the job, is to go in and be this person and say, and I can help you get to the cloud. Once they understand the value, you're in. Okay, Dennis, any questions from California?
You want to have any questions on anything?
No, we're looking for your lunch invitation.
They said no, they're waiting for a lunch invitation from you.
Oh, that's a good idea. I have to come to California. It's been a while since I've been there.
Okay. And then also, they're not sending the invite, the hangout to LTC instructor. So you need to send it to LTC instructor as well. I've been using mine.
Maybe that's the problem, Dennis, is
Yeah.
that you're not in my circle anymore for LTC staff. I'm sending it correctly. I'm sending it also to you, thinking you're getting it 2 ways. But maybe that's the solution.
Okay. Other than that,